Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com. This question was sent in through our Instagram by @MeganElizabethLifts. And her question was, she has a sticking point 1 to 2 inches off the chest. All right, not uncommon, more common I think than not. It's right off the chest, but she's actually getting stuck just slightly above. I don't know if I'd call that mid-range, but let's call it just slightly above the chest. So common sticking point, and I want to cover it in 2 different ways. So before I ever delve into what kind of strength issue might be there, we have a video on mid-range trouble, and everyone wants to hit the triceps. But first, guys, you got to look at technique. If technique is not in place, it doesn't matter how strong you are, because you're just going to have that sticking point because of what's going on. And that starts with your setup process and the starting position. All right, that's the first thing I cover with anyone. Setup process, that's everything. Okay, guys, about 80% the bench you can work on before the bar even comes out of the rack. All right, all your success is determined the setup and how you're taking the bar out. Okay, so first I would analyze, how is she setting up? What's her starting position look like? Because if she's caved in, her shoulders are out, she's going to have a rough time off the chest. She's not going to have that pop. The tightness isn't going to be there. Which brings me into the next thing. Tightness. Okay? So, granted, maybe she got her shoulders in a good position. She's allowing her a position to actually throw the bar back. Now we look at tightness. Is she even tight to the bar? Does she know what tightness really encompasses? Well, we throw around that word tightness, but what does it actually mean? And that's why I have the handy dandy torque bar available at bigbenchas.com. It's only $14.99. But here we got the torque bar, and this is a great tool because it shows you how you're creating tightness. And that's tightness comes down to pretty much pairing every muscle group together, activating it, but most importantly, the back and the lats. And the lats play a huge role in the bench and your success in it. So by tightness, I'm mostly thinking here, how is she bending the bar? A lot of people, pretend I'm lying down, but most people are going to bend it over their body. We don't want that, right? We want to bend that bar down towards our toes. And I can feel the difference just in how much lat activation I'm getting compared to this, mostly upper back, to this, my entire back. Okay, remember, I'm lying down, bending it towards my toes. That's tightness, and you need to have that type of tightness to the bar the entire time. If you don't, the chest is notoriously your weakest link because you're in a stretch position, all right? If you don't have tightness, it can be very hard to overcome that. That's where you need the most strength. That's where you need that tightness. Bar path. How is she pressing the bar? If she's pressing the bar straight up, that is going to be not good, because once that bar comes straight up or even gets out in front of you a little bit, that's pretty much the end of it. I always say, if anything, make sure you get that bar going back, because no matter how heavy it is, at least you give yourself a chance. If you press that bar straight up or it gets out in front of you, forget it. You have nothing under that bar anymore. You're going to miss that lift. So if she's tossing that bar straight up or it's getting out in front of her a little bit, she's going to have that initial pop. But it's quickly going to stall out, and that's probably going to result in her sticking point of 1 to 2 inches off the chest. All right, bar path's everything. Got to get that bar going back at an angle. All right, we talked about bar path. You want to bring the bar out to where you're going to touch. It's going to come slightly down, and then you're going to press back over your shoulders. Okay, so those are some good technique points to start with. And then if we look at if everything here is accounted for, we take account for all this stuff, we work on it. Next thing would be actually building some strength. Maybe it's just a strength issue. Okay, but all this has to be taken care of first. Strength-wise, how can we build up strength 1 to 2 inches off the chest? What's going to be good for that? Spoto press. All right, so spoto press, if she's having that issue, she can actually bring the bar down and just pause at that point. So if her issue's right here, all right, she can literally just bring the bar into this position, work on all those technical points, bending the bar, right? And she can just live down there for a pause. She can do a 1 count pause, she can do 3 count pause, but she can stop the bar right there. She has to take the full brunt of the weight. She can't sink it at all into her chest, all right? And she can just work in that range, Spoto style. Iso press. She can actually set it up so that the rack, she can actually press into the rack at that point. Okay, What I mean by that is you set the pin height about right here, and then you can apply full 100% effort into that very specific range. Thing with an isometric press is you're going to gain strength 15 degrees above and below that specific range of motion. Okay, so if she was to put the pins there, she can actually display 100% maximal strength through that range of motion, getting very strong very quickly in that specific range where she's having an issue. It's a great tool. Josh Bryant, credible bench coach himself, he's worked with some of the top lifters, world champions. That's a big one in his staple, and something I've actually learned from him, as well as cat benching, compensatory acceleration training, aka speed work. Okay, iso press, great stuff. We don't think about power isometric, guys. Pause work is everything, and you can pause any of these. I mean, this is a pause. You can pause the spoto press, but all kinds of pause work demands that stability, that strength, and that bottom position. All right, 3 count. You can even do 5 count pauses. Just live off the chest, because that's how you're gonna build it up, guys. All right. So at Megan Elizabeth Lifts, I hope this video helped you and many others with that issue. Start with technique, move on to strength-based training, and that should solve your issues. Coach Ben here. I'm at the whiteboard, but you can meet me on the bench.